we're going to be going, is it 4.2? Maybe I'm wrong, it might be 4.4.
Yeah, it's 4.4.
I was close enough. 4.2, 4.4 is here. We'll be going through that in a moment. We do have an event this weekend, though. If you're just tuning in, I'm going to let you all know it is hunting season as well. But there is the Victory Capture the Flag this weekend going on that you guys can get involved in. Yes, the Adventures game mode is going to have a Capture the Flag opportunity for you guys to partake at home and get involved in, and also earn gems. So all this weekend, you will be able to earn gems going forward by playing in this tournament and maybe coming first, second, or third. Make sure you take part in that going on. Next up, though, is onto the patch notes. Joining me on the set is, as usual, Chuck from the art team, alongside him, Larson from A Team.
A team?
From
All
So
the teams.
rude.
Yeah.
You're all over the place, Larson. That's why I'm like a team, because I don't know which
The
one you're on
SMITE
now.
team.
The whole SMITE team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then Tina,
boss.
our voice pack extraordinaire.
She
Yes,
does other
and
stuff
designer.
Oh, really? I just thought it was the voice packs. You design the voice packs, right?
She designs
What do you
other
do,
things.
Tina?
Happy International
Alright.
Women's Day, by the way, Tina.
Oh, thank you.
How are you enjoying
I'm
your
glad you
special day
noticed.
devoted to you?
Yeah. Why didn't you take off today?
Because you're international and also a lady.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm very international.
One day
Thank
we'll
you.
get a Men's Day, but that's okay.
No,
You
every
know?
day is Men's
We'll
Day.
How
just
about
Men's
every day
Day.
is Men's Day?
For a day. I'd love a Every day's a Men's Day? Okay.
much.
Well, let's go into skins and get through these as quick as we can. There's a few skins this week. I'm going to start things off with the Morrigan. Is going to get one of her first skins. Twisted Metal the Morrigan is going to be available for you in this patch. And we should get some card art coming up relatively soon for you to have a look at. There you go on your screen. That looks dope in the card art.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, she's definitely in a rave.
Now, is
I
she
like
actually
how
going to have a
the
musical
Raven has a
instrument?
glow
Raven.
stick. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't see the glow stick.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the Raven was carrying the glow stick.
Go.
Glow stick?
Yes, let's point out my pronunciation errors.
I'm sorry.
Make sure to do that. That's
We all do this.
That's
to
fun.
The
Quality
Englishmen they do that all the time. She looks
She's like,
fantastic there.
"Hi."
I like the stockings.
Yeah. I like the cyber. What do you call it?
Oh, I can't hit
Cyberpunk
in
hair?
game right now.
I like how the two comments on the chat next to each other were, "It's ugly" and "Take my money."
And thick.
Yeah.
I'm thick.
There's something
Thick.
for everyone. That's
Something
what
for
it,
everyone,
It's what it
yeah.
proves.
Just a bit of everything right now. Well, we should be able to go through the abilities. We will get the sound sorted for you. Don't worry at home. If you're all screaming sound, it will be fixed in a second. But you'll be able to continue to see this as the
But
artwork
now
takes
you
over.
can
I like
appreciate the
effects.
black and pink swankiness without all that noise.
Yeah, let's have a quick look once again at that card art where we're just going to fix that audio issue for you guys
So
at
you
home
can
as well.
see the Raven
Just so you can see it. So we can see
carrying
actually
the
the
glow
Raven that you were
stick.
talking about with the glow kick.
What? He's like,
Oh, yeah.
That looks pretty awesome.
It is dope, and she's clearly a rave with the background as well. Because
Yeah.
I generally just look at the thing right in front and not look at the background very much most of the time. If it's not in my actual vision, I'm not really looking at it, but the background looks really cool there
Yeah.
as well. Sound should be working any moment. You can look
I
through the
heard
skin
it.
one
I
more
heard the
time.
sound.
Hey! Lies! Deceit!
I heard voice.
There we go! See, the Morrigan likes to lies and deceit. She likes to make sure you can hear sound sometimes and then not on occasions too.
Huh.
Teleport glow.
Okay.
Apologies for the technical issue there, but yeah, we're going to have the Morrigan available in this patch for this one as well. A couple of things that I will go through while we're waiting for that sound issue to be fixed is avatars. We're going to be having top 5 plays avatar is going to be available for you to get in game as well. And a Thanatos. People have been asking for that for a
Thanatos?
while.
Yeah, it's super
Thanatos
cute.
is now an
Yeah.
avatar?
It's a thing.
Is it? Is it like the
Well-
cutesy Thanatos?
Well, people wanted a skin, and the skin concepts were
Why could the skin concept not work for that?
Chuck.
Are we looking at my face?
Chuck.
Get a close up of Chuck's face.
Listen. You need. All it's got to be is a piece of bread that has been slightly cooked, and he's carrying a butter knife. That's all it needs,
Yeah.
instead of a scythe. Is it that difficult to make this, Chuck?
Okay, the goal is to make skins that don't make me want to commit seppuku.
Excuse me. Kawaii Bastet came out, and you didn't want to commit seppuku?
No, because that shit was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scardy,
cool.
whatever that Scardy Dogekin, that
there's-
came out, and you didn't want
There's
to commit.
over the top, and then there's like, it's
Hey, try to
Thanatos,
say this.
man. It's toast, right? It's almost like
It's
toast.
got a
but
slab
it's
of
got a
butter on
T.
it. Butter, toast.
There's a
I don't
T though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the avatar is really sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
But we've
yeah,
also
I'm
got
all,
coming
I'm
in
all
this
about
patch
the icon.
as well a birthday global emote to celebrate Smite's 2017 anniversary of being around for a few more years now. So a birthday emote will be available. We might be able to see in game as well. We'll give you some information on where we can get some of these things going forward as well. And a new ward skin, which I'm not sure if Pompon will have available for us today because Pompon generally is lazy and doesn't do his job properly. So he probably hasn't got these things attached. That's why I'm telling you them now.
Well, he's got a new job too.
He does. He does have a new job?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He's a system designer now.
How did he become a... He can't even get alphabetical order correct. How could he be a system designer?
He's smarter than you think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I mean, you tell me these things and things are going on. But there's going to be a new warding game as well called the Pot of Gold Ward. I guess that's something to do with Patrick's Day. We'll get into that a little bit later on and explain how you can get
What
those sort
about
of
the
things as
other
well.
one?
Yeah, how about read the other one?
What
Read the other one.
Did you see this?
What am I looking
Fire
at? The
Chuck.
Shower of Gold recoil
Give us
effects?
the
Is that
test.
what I'm talking about? Shower
Shower
of Gold.
of gold. Oh.
Oh.
Shower
Shower
of gold. Right? You got
Sorry,
a
I don't
pronunciation.
impersonate Irish people. I'm English and I'm respectful towards the Irish. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Be Jesus.
jeez.
Okay, we can go
All right,
back
we've
into
wasted
game.
enough time.
We have now finally. Hopefully the sound issue is fixed. Apologies for the issues there. But here's a little look at Morrigan. Yes!
there you
All the sound, music, entree. Let's go. All fixed as well. So there's a little look at the 1. Next up is going to be the 2 as well. I like the pink effects on this. Not gonna lie.
Pink and black.
Pink and black. Are we going to do more pink and blacks now?
I don't know. And this is like a sweet hot pink too.
Oh, Pom Pom. This is Pom Pom, by the way.
Dramatic. It makes it so
Can we,
dramatic.
if instead of our camera in the bottom, can we get just Pom Pom's camera with his face grimacing all the time whenever I mention his name? That'd be great. I'd
Or
love
him
that.
desperately trying to get the client.
To fix things. That'd be
Crack up.
fantastic. That's gonna be really weird to say, but let's see the ultimate. But the problem is with the ultimate is like she's just gonna turn into Odin,
He's
right?
gonna turn into Odin.
With
Yeah.
a little
But
big symbol.
there's a pink and black transformation into Odin.
Oh, I
Wow.
see. I see. Now she does come with a voice pack. Actually, quick question. I don't even know this. If Morrigan transforms into someone, just use their voice pack or her own voice pack? I never knew
Man,
that.
I'm like level 5 and I have never.
I don't thought about it till
really-
just now.
I'm too busy trying to do
You're-
the combo.
yeah.
You actually use the gods that you transform into.
It sounds that way because
Yeah.
Pom just did it. Ah,
Oh,
there you go.
cool.
Pom Pom just checked it out
Fun.
for us. And then we should hear Morrigan's voice pack as well to go along with the skin.
I want to slap your brain. I'ma wipe that smile right off your face. I knew life had a purpose when I joined Anime Club.
Wow. So
The
dark.
saltiness of this team reminds me of my tears. Yay! Yay!
This sounds like you.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're kind of good.
Not really.
Great.
I'm
in
never
pain.
this.
No, but you know, on the
Angsty.
on
Yeah,
the
you're
on the
never that
surface,
dark.
you're very outspoken and happy-go-lucky. But I think your
Quiet.
internal soul is this character.
I sometimes
Do you know what I mean?
agree.
This
Yes.
is like a girl
I was
that I would
channeling
date.
my
is what's
my
happening.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
younger
for sure.
16-year-old self.
And did we listen to the taunts and jokes already? And the laugh spam?
Yes.
Laugh spam?
Do great. Great.
I'm in pain.
Wow.
Man, I really like
Oops.
this voice pack.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's pretty good, Tina. You got a 2 thumbs up on this end.
You got approved.
Next up, moving
voted off the island
swiftly along. I know we took a little bit of time there. Dreadful Doll is an army is coming out. This sounds amazing. I hope the skin lives up to the name that you've given it here. Dreadful Doll is
I
an
was a
army.
big proponent of this particular skin.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
it's straight up Chuck's alley for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
deep, dark, and evil.
Yeah.
It's true.
The card art looks fantastic for it as well. We should be able to see it in game momentarily as well and have a little look at it there. What's the main design for that? I guess to make it look like an evil doll.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
mean, right. Well,
Oh,
Izanami
man.
has this,
Looks
you
so
know,
good.
kind of creaky, rickety way that she operates, and she has the whole thing where her head spins around, and she's just kind of creepy and freaky. So the ancient possessed marionette feel was definitely a good fit for her.
She looks amazing.
Zoom into the face. She's got
man.
this
Get the face
creepy-
pom-pom.
creepy doll eye.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh god.
Wow. She's so sad.
She's a possessed
doesn't look
doll.
happy. Yeah,
That's
I will
like
be
the
honest.
saddest
I will
thing
be honest.
ever.
She looks almost as happy as the Morrigan skin we just released. Is this just going to be a deep patch
Now, and
this
also we
week?
gave her the the like rusty straight razors as weapons.
Try not to cut yourself.
It's just so fitting.
That's a 1 clearly, and no auto attacks. And the 2.
I'm going to catch you.
It's so creepy.
That's pretty good.
Great.
You can't see me.
Is that the first time you've heard it?
Yes, I've not heard that. I'm going to catch you.
It's
Who did this voice
Fishman.
pack?
Like it
Look at
scared the
those
shit out of me.
ghosts.
Like when I heard it the first time, dude, like her taunts are really
Yeah,
at
this
those
is definitely not your
ghosts.
style, Tina.
no. It.
Someone in
freaked
chat
the-
said, kill it before it reproduces.
Yeah.
So we're hitting the mark on the head here.
Yep, we did the good thing.
Wowie.
Ooh, wowie.
I mean, the only way that you can reproduce is by more
You're
spirits of the
my
beyond,
favorite.
possessing more dolls.
Do
Of
I
Beelzebub.
scare you?
Okay, listen to the voice
Yeah,
pack.
oh,
Listen
that
to the voice
animation.
pack, guys. They'll get upset at home. Come on.
Don't you want to play with me?
Oh God.
I'm warning you.
I am a little creeped
I'm
out
no
right now.
pushover. Have
Yeah.
you heard about the release Guan Yu doll? You wind it up and it carries your whole team.
That's pretty good. That's
pretty good.
actually pretty good.
Yeah, that Fishman.
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 Fishman, yeah,
Fishman.
yeah.
Have
Good
you
job,
ever
Fish.
seen the kind of doll that attacks kids when they go to sleep? You have now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. She's
Everybody
fucking freaky,
needs a
dude.
dolly. We're having so much fun. You're my favorite.
Oh, listen to the echo in the
Yeah.
background of it.
It's
No,
amazing.
no, Pawn, like, she'll like, when she, like, if you just play her rant normally, she'll just do these, like, weird groans. It's super, like, just walk around and she'll just be like, and you're just like, what is what?
Now this skin does also come with an emote, a special emote, I
Oh,
believe.
yeah.
I don't know what this is, but we'll find out now.
Hella creeps, dude.
What?
Oh, wow.
Can you move with that? Please tell me you can move doing that.
No.
You can't?
You can't walk, like, if you just go forward, you can't.
Oh, shit.
But you can, like,
But
go
you're standing
around.
still. So it's like the Earth emote for Geb,
Yeah,
where you
exactly.
can stay still and do it, yeah.
God, that's kind of gross.
This is my new favorite skin.
That is
now.
my,
Yeah.
probably my,
Yeah.
I wish I played this in Army more
Oh.
now. Okay.
Okay.
So-
let's move on. Let's
Next
move
up
on.
is...
That's
oh,
some heavy
Oh, wonderful.
stuff right there, man.
Well,
oh, God.
you thought that was creepy. Wait till you see the
wait.
next skin.
Oh, yeah, this is even creepier.
The Loki Charms Loki skin. Yes, I said that
Because
right.
St. Patrick's, look at that.
That is scary.
It's just, wow.
Yes.
So Chuck,
Loki Charms.
Take me through where the idea for this came from.
Chris, you know this better than me because you were at the inception the email thread for this.
It's the Smosh or who
yeah,
was it?
it's Joshua Ovenshire. He's
Oh,
from
yeah.
Smosh Gaming, and yeah, he did
He did the voice
pack
pack
this.
for it. So it really, it actually was backwards.
Right.
We started with a voice pack and then went into the skin.
Awesome. That's really
And
interesting. That's
the
very
whole
strange.
Loki Charms thing, just, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's magic because he's delicious. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a little close look at him as well. He's a little four-leaf clover as well.
Oh, the
like
effects
that.
on this are phenomenal.
I'm excited now.
Yeah.
He's carrying a cane.
Now, the
as you
most
expect.
hilarious thing about this whole thing
was
was
okay.
that Tina did not know what leprechauns were like.
Do you not know what a leprechaun was?
No, I did know what it was. I just didn't know how they were like their personality, really.
And like how, yeah, it was an amazing conversation where we schooled Tina on what leprechauns are.
Could you
like.
remind me? I don't remember this.
I remember having to do the leprechaun voice a bunch of times, which we won't do because it offends Hindu.
It doesn't really offend me.
When I talk
I'm
like
English.
a
I'm not Irish.
cliché Irishman.
I'm not Irish. It's okay. We can do that.
Wait, did you use the joke? Did they let you use the joke?
Oh, I didn't even ask.
Oh, did you put it in?
I think so.
Well, we'll find out
We'll
if it's-
find out in a second.
Well, you see
No,
most of the
no,
abilities.
Tina.
Let's look at the
I don't
ultimate
know
as
which
well.
camera it is.
Because
Who's
we've
gonna
seen
do
all the
Belle?
other ones. Ooh, the spins. What?
You're not.
Actually, I think AJ might have
Just
reviewed
be
it.
quiet for a second because I'm sure people want to know what that says.
You're not.
You touched me gold.
And lucky you are
and
not.
lucky you are not. Okay. Let's hit the voice pack then as well.
brother is proud. Cheers! I was born lucky. Be careful. Don't be touching me pot of gold. Put your lips on me Blarney Stone.
What?
We wrote that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Oh.
okay.
Put your lips on
that's,
what?
That's fine.
You
A
left
Blarney
Tina
Stone.
hanging.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. He didn't see me.
Here,
It's
I'll
alright.
give you a
Shut it.
high five.
Oh, that's terrible. I know that was terrible. There we go. There we
Sorry,
go.
I was
Never
laughing.
iron
and
a
my eyes were
four-leaf
closed.
clover because you don't want to be pressing your luck. What do you get when two leprechauns have a conversation? Small talk. Oh. Hoity-toity-toy.
Who wrote the script?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Good job, Tina.
Hoity-toity-toy.
Wait, but you didn't use the soccer joke, though.
No, it is. VJ
Why
again.
do leprechauns chuckle when they play soccer? Because the grass tickles our balls.
Oh. God! Sit down, Tina.
I'm sorry. Calm down. It's International Women's Day. Tell me what to do, bitch. Oh,
And this is what we deal with.
I am so sorry.
For those fans, for those tuning in that are
Fired,
offended at
Tina.
home or are of a
Fired.
nervous disposition or have their children watching, I'd like to apologise and just explain it is National Women's Day and Tina is taking full opportunity
To express
to
herself.
express herselves on this very special day for women,
Did you
including the pig laughing as well, as you can hear in the
I
background.
like how that
Apologies
just
for
came
that.
out. Just
It
Just
flowed.
stream
naturally.
of consciousness. Yeah.
Let's move on from the Loki skin as
Tina,
well.
you're not
sorry.
allowed on patch notes
Next
anymore.
up is Energy 2017 champion Kronos. Yes, the world champions finally got their skin. They selected Kronos, and here it is. That card
Yep.
art looks amazing.
This turned out really, really well.
I just coincidentally realized we have two black and hot pink skins
Yeah.
this patch. That just happened organically.
His
that was
effects
like a
as well?
plan.
It wasn't planned, it just happened. That's great.
Well, his effects, no, Tina, they're blue.
oh yeah, you're right.
Yo, he looks so good and good.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, dope.
So was there any specific design for this? Because generally these are a bit more awkward skins for you guys, I guess, Chuck. Because obviously World Championships happen, and then you're like, okay, what skin do you want? And then you have to think of a skin, right?
Oh yeah.
So
So
we have
wait.
to-
So we had this moment on this skin that it's normally exactly as you describe, where there's lots of requests,
Yeah.
and the team was just like, we want Kronos, do the thing, and then we did the thing, and they were like, awesome, and then that was it.
Yep. This one was easy, actually.
Yeah. And Kronos also has lots of good opportunities for places to logo stuff up.
That is a cool place
Oh,
to
that
logo
is
stuff up
really
as well.
cool.
That's really dope. See the energy logos right and on
Yeah,
the ground
so-
too.
yeah,
Oh, it
so-
bounces out.
So normal Kronos, right, has all of the ears
cogs
that
and
come
ears,
out.
yeah.
So we just took the logo, we made a logo model, and then we just put it everywhere that we could, basically.
That is dope.
The it
Oh,
takes
man.
like
That's
pretty cool.
Those always look so meaty. And again, as well. Okay.
Yeah, the
Oh,
logo's
that's cool.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Talk about branding.
Tell me about it. It's almost like we do that.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
And the rewind. Oh, do we need to take damage first for the rewind to show? Oh. Pong's going to cheat and take some damage, I guess, and then rewind back. Showing off his range.
Oh, rewind!
You might need to do that again, Pong, because I was talking. I'm sorry.
We can turn this!
We can turn this.
Yeah.
Is right. I guess has he got a custom
He's
voice
trying
pack with this
hard.
then?
He is
Yes,
trying hard.
Really?
Actually, I'd like to shout out to the Energy Boys for helping me write this voice pack.
Oh, did they
Well,
really help you with this
some
voice
people
pack?
are saying, why energy? This is their championship skin.
Yeah, so people asking why Energy got this voice pack. It's clearly because they won the World Championships this year. Yeah, if you win the World Championships, we do look to release a skin. On top of it, Energy got their choice of God, and they chose Kronos here, and they also helped to write the voice pack. So, without further ado, let's have a listen to that voice pack.
Yes! You deserve a beer. Awesome! Call me MVP. Good. Let the butthurt flow through you.
Ouch.
You play very
He's
well.
so sassy.
He's super sassy.
I
That's great.
seem to be playing against bots. What do you mean, auto attack penalty? Wait, you're kidding, right? They say that time heals wounds. Tell that to NA.
Oh, man.
Snap.
Damn.
What do you call an international mushroom? A world champignon. Look it up.
It's okay.
It's good. It's got some.
It really fits energy as a team. After listening to the voice pack, it really is those guys coming through there. I can feel it for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And a mushroom joke.
And a shot at NA. Like, that's all it needed, was just a shot at NA, and it did.
Is some of the... I think I wrote like 4 VJs for that, just by
What
what
do
they
you mean,
recommended.
auto attack penalty? Wait, you're kidding, right? They say that time heals wounds.
That's
Tell that
two.
to NA. What do you call an international mushroom? A world champignon. Look it up. What do you mean, auto attack penalty?
I
Wait,
don't know.
you're kidding,
All right.
right?
It
No.
probably
That's
got
probably
cut.
not-
AJ probably cut it, right?
No,
Yeah,
it wasn't
boy.
bad.
Yeah, boy!
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
boy.
Suppose they got caught. That's what Pompon's saying.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
See?
it got cut.
He's telling us with the voice pack that he got caught.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a VET.
Rip the
I don't
tree.
know, Pawn. It's something.
I like how Pon has to communicate with us via VGS.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cute.
But
Yeah,
this
boy.
this
Thanks.
Chronos pack will be, sorry, this Chronos skin will be available for you to purchase, and when you do, $1 of every sale of this will go towards the SPL this year as well. Just a heads up for that over the next few weeks. While it's just come out, you will be able to do that for it as well if you want to buy it in the first couple of weeks it comes out. Time to move on though, because we've still got a couple more skins to go over. Next up is Breezy Chibi Kulkulkan. Now this got semi-leaked last week, I believe, but, well, 2 weeks ago, but here it is in all its glory.
Yep.
This
It was leaked, but it wasn't released.
It wasn't released, but it was leaked.
Yes.
That's always the case, sadly sometimes. And there's a nice little look at that card art for that one. So it's very, very similar to the other one we've got, but in a smaller version, right?
What?
Huh?
Oh, no, it looks completely different. It looks very
No.
similar. On the card art, it looks a little bit similar to the one we've already got
Oh,
on the
the
Kukulkan.
Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the other
yeah,
IP.
the Monpoke. The Monpoke skin.
Yes, that one.
Yes, the Monpoke skin. I know
The
which one you're talking
Monpoke.
about. It's a
Yeah.
little bit like that
I
on the
don't-
card
I
art,
don't know
but in
about any
game,
of these associations
me neither.
whatsoever.
Me neither. It's like the Monpoke Erlang Shen one as well. It's no
So
association to
yeah,
that
we
one
did
either.
the same thing we did with old Chibi Hades, and we cheaped out all of the effects into sweet little cartoon.
I like his
versions.
eyes.
Yes. that's
It's
the
what
best
makes
part.
the chibi come out.
I
The real
really
chibi
like
effect.
the chibi electricity that Sarah Cleric made.
That
for
looks
this
actually good, the
skin.
electric. It actually looks
Yeah.
like it does more damage on his auto attacks than it does in his regular skin there, so that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that you buy the skin, there's a little upgraded damage too.
Oh, there is?
Mm-hmm.
For every skin you buy, there's an extra 1 damage that you get on every...
Yeah,
I
that's
heard about
right.
that. I
Yeah.
heard about that. I thought it was the case. The more skins you run, the more damage you do. It's confirmed.
Yep.
I'll patch those. Let's speed up the little static around him too. Wow.
Yeah,
Pond's
I
making
love
that look like he just moves all the time
His,
like that.
his little
Electricity.
wings are different. Are they smaller?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, way smaller.
Yeah.
He cheaped.
He cheaped out. I got it.
Oh, I like the little electric effects for them on underneath. That's pretty cool. And then the ultimate as usual.
That looks awesome.
It's a giant chibi. How is that a thing? But it is.
Now, chibi is not all about size; it's about proportions.
Yes.
This
Oh,
is
man.
true. And
Like if you had a giant kitten, it would still be a kitten, right?
yes,
Yep.
I guess. But wouldn't it just be a big cat then?
No, because it still has the baby proportions.
I could go down a rabbit hole there, but I guess not because we're taking a
All
long
right,
time on the
voice
show
pack,
today.
voice
pack. Let's go. Larson wants to hear it. I do too.
You rock! Ravishing! I am the best around! I am the best around! Tell me how awesome I am and you won't die. I am a dangerous serpent. Fear me!
That's
Real talk. How does a hurricane get a name like Eugene instead of the mighty Kukul Khan? I would squeeze you in my coils, but my silky handsome feathers might tickle you to death.
wow. Good job, Tina.
Looks like you're tickling.
She's so
Yes!
proud.
And that one
You
is
rock!
Chibi Kulkulkan, available in the next patch, alongside another skin that's coming out yet. Pro League Bologna will also be available too. Now, Pro League Bologna is basically for the Pro League.
Yep. This is a skin that you will get by watching Twitch.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
So you know
this.
how we have those chests that you
Yeah.
sometimes get?
Yeah.
This will be in that chest. So
That's cool.
you have to link your account and do those things to be able to get this one.
This is just Bologna kicking ass on a Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Day off, basically.
Yeah.
Bellona's day off. But she'll go to the beach and that, or maybe to a rave in the evening, you know, maybe see the Morrigan perform, hang around there for a little bit, and then if there's trouble, she brings all the weapons just in case. So a quick look at that one as well. Oh, the prolink symbol comes up. That's kind of cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Okay. That's cool, having the big symbol at the bottom as well, so you know where you got it from.
No voice pack.
Now, no voice pick, obviously, because it's one of these skins that you're going to be able to get for just watching.
Yep.
That's cool. I didn't know that, so I didn't know we were going to say that, so that's kind of cool.
It's a
as well.
freebie.
A free skin. There you go. A free Bologna skin for you guys that need it at home. Everyone's spamming thick.
That's
I
just
think.
us at SMITE
Yeah.
giving away
Do you agree with that,
free
Tina?
stuff.
Yes.
On International Women's Day, we should refer to women as thick. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Tina says it's okay. I'm in the clear. So are you guys in chat. You're in the clear. You may refer to them as thick.
I'm really
it's
not
okay.
looking at Tina as a representative for this movement today.
I'm sorry, she's the only one on the show who is
in my
female.
pocket.
Next up, after Pro League Bologna, is the final section of skins, and that's going to be Kuzenbo's Mastery skins are going to be available as well. And there's the card out for that one. Why, oh my, he looks pretty damn good.
That looks so
I love the
good.
mountains in the background, too. It looks really good.
He's like, I found this thing in the water, you guys.
He looks thick.
He look.
You know what I'm saying?
He does look thick.
T-H-I...
Kuzenbo
Wait,
is the
how do you
CK?
I mean,
CK?
C what?
CK.
CK?
Yeah.
Wait, no, but they're writing it.
They're
CC.
doing like CC. What is that? Is that just bad spelling?
That's Challenger Cup.
Challenger Cup.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I
Ignore
knew it
chat.
was something.
I can translate chat for you. It's no problem. Just if
Yeah.
you see anything in chat you don't understand, ask and I'll let you know. But on your screen, there's a golden version.
The kids are saying nowadays.
What? Challenger Cup? I know. You can't just say it. I like the
His
gold and blue.
gold teeth are terrifying.
What?
Was he got gold teeth on this?
Let's
He
see
has
it. Can we
gold
see that
teeth.
again? I didn't see the
I
gold
need to see the
teeth.
front. I missed that because we're all talking.
Oh, he's
He's got a dank grill though.
A dank grill.
grill.
What a dank grill!
In 30 seconds time, chat will be spamming dank grill for the
Dank
next few
grill.
seconds.
No,
Grill, not
Tina.
grill.
No, Tina.
And then from then on, whenever Tina appears, they'll say, oh, look, it's dank grill again. Do not
You
thought
should
about that
get
one,
a
had you?
dank grill, Tina.
Yeah.
Can I work it though?
Hey,
I don't know. I
Yeah,
gotta
you
route
can-
it to
you
you.
can work it.
your hat's on the correct way though, so
Well,
you're
there's
not
the-
really.
I can fix that.
Where's the Master Rank 5 version of it, which is the legendary, and then we also have Diamond as well. But I do love the Kappa gets it as well. I think that's really cool that the Kappa gets the treatment.
Whenever
I want them
a
just as
gold
badass.
skin spawns another character,
Jesus.
we always also bling them out.
That's right. Let's
Bling all the
Like the
blinks.
cats or the kraken.
look at
Diamond
him.
grill now.
Diamond grill.
Wow.
That's hardcore.
He's going to open the grilled. Dank grill
We've
indeed.
also been kind of trying out some stuff on some of these more monster guys on their legendary diamond gold skins, where we kind of mix the skin between the original skin color and the tint. Just, you know.
Yeah, I can see some of the
added
original
flavor.
colour in this as well.
Yeah.
You can definitely see it. And that's a little look at Kuzenbo. That'll be available in the next patch. And we do have a couple of other things.
Hold it.
The Scylla
Dance emote.
Dance
Oh, yeah, yeah.
emote.
Who did the dance?
Scylla.
I
Is
don't
it-
know. It's Scylla, though.
Oh, Scylla.
Let's have a look at Scylla's dance emote. It's going to be available in this patch as well.
Aw. So cute.
She's so cute.
She's just all in her own little world.
Sometimes the dance emotes reference things, right? I don't know what this reference
Isn't
is.
it
so
Daisy Despair?
I didn't see it.
It's
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Daisy Despair.
Ah,
Skin
Oh,
dance.
yeah.
In the lobby.
It's the, what's that song? It's in Beetlejuice.
that's
Oh,
right.
man.
Beetlejuice. That's what I was trying to think of.
Oh, the one there
Some of
where they're at the
those,
dinner
yeah.
table?
Now, I'm not sure. I think that's all we've got in terms of new art this week, unless we've got global emotes or recalls ready. No? Okay.
Those are the things.
There's a couple of other
Yep,
things
we did it.
available. Thank you guys
We
for
did the
joining me.
skins.
It's time to move over now to Savvy or Savannah and Amanda. I
Savage.
say Savannah for some reason, but Savvy and Amanda are standing by right now to talk a few more quick things about the skins real quick. And guys, how you doing?
We're doing awesome. We are so excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Thanks, guys. So tell me a little bit more about these skins. Amanda, I'm coming to you first of all. This Loki skin that's coming out. Now, there is a pot of gold emote as well as, I believe, something else that's with this as well, right? And how'd you get these?
Yeah, so Loki Charms, the skin, is going to be in our St. Patrick's Day bundle, which has the emote, sorry, not emote, the recall effects and award skin. And all of that is going to be one item that's in the spring holiday chest. So instead of rolling each individual item, by unlocking the skin, you're going to unlock the recall effects and the ward skin all at once.
Okay, so it's not like all these items are in a chest. It's just one's in a chest. If you unlock it, you get all of them.
Yes, yep, and the chest also is going to have the Breezy Chibi Cuckoo.
Oh, that's going to be in there as well. Okay, that's good to hear. And then on top of that, I believe you could tell us a little bit. These are some of the things I believe that you can see, some of the skins that we've seen so far. As well, Savvy, what is it you could tell me about? I believe it's the global emote, right? Because that birthday emote we've got coming out?
That's right. Smite.
How'd you get that?
Well, Smite's 3rd birthday is coming up, and starting March 21st, we're going to be running huge events every single day, so you'll have to stay tuned for that week. It's going to be pretty sick. So during this time, you can complete any one first win of the day and unlock this 2017 birthday emote doing that, and it looks pretty cool. I really dig the fireworks. I'll enjoy using that.
Did you just leak that we might be doing some other things for the birthday week of Smite?
I don't know. I can tell you it starts March 21st. It's going to be a 7-day long thing, and you're definitely not going to miss. You're not going to want to miss one day.
There's going to be,
Okay.
you know, daily in-game events as well as daily sales. There's going to be lots going on. We've been very busy planning for it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, we're going to head back to the set now for the discussion of balance. We'll probably come back to Savvy and Amanda a little bit later on. But right now, joining me is Pon, as per usual. Just keep staring there, girls. Just stand there and keep looking. Production will change it eventually.
Yeah, we'll eventually finish
No,
it.
put it back on him. Put it back on him. Put it back on them.
Yeah, we
Thank
weren't
you.
ready yet.
No, we can talk and they can act it out. Should we do this?
Yeah, we should do
this.
this.
This will be fun.
You have to
We'll
act
force
out the balance
improv,
changes.
guys. They're not used to this. So, which one's going to be me and which one's going to be you? Which one do you want?
Savannah can be me.
Okay, so Amanda's me, okay?
I didn't wear my matching pink wristband today.
Oh, yeah, I do have a pink
It's on my desk, though.
I'm trying to pantomime a bow tie.
Okay, that's awkward enough. I'm not going to make him sit there long enough now. That was too mean. Let's go on with the patch notes. Pon, how you doing, buddy?
It's just like light hazing. You just like to
I
do.
have to do it to everybody. They all experience it the whole time through. It's how things go.
Yep.
You ready for patch notes this week?
Yeah, I think so.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Is it a good patch or is it a bad patch?
I think it's a pretty good patch.
Okay.
I
I'm just
also am
saying that.
going to straight up say that things are out of order in the God list. That was intentional. You'll see
Is
why
this
when we get there.
you saving yourself from it being out of order?
Pretty much.
And it was also because it came up
But
earlier on.
it's intentional. It is intentional. You'll see why.
All right,
Things are a little bit out of
we'll
order.
see if it's right. And also, he said it's a pretty good patch. So if you don't like this patch, don't listen to Pon's opinion anymore. It's pretty
Yeah,
simple,
it's
right?
pretty bad. You can also send me any messages on Twitter you want.
So,
Pretty good.
miscellaneous first of all, real quick. Fix an issue where undo in the item store was returning the incorrect amount of gold. What?
Bug fix.
How much was it returning? Was it returning more or less or both?
It could break in multiple ways.
Oh,
So,
fancy.
and it was kind of an edge case anyway, so it wasn't affecting pretty much any game.
Okay, so you could actually lose money sometimes?
I believe so.
Okay, more times than not, or? Okay. I'm interested because I want people to go home and try and do it and lose all the gold because they want to check it out. Players will not now be notified if they have been reported.
Yeah, so now if you are being a jerk in game, you will be notified that you're being a jerk in game. There's a few systems in place to make sure that, like, you're not going to get spammed by every single individual one, but when people report you in game, if you did something bad, you'll be notified that something happened.
Okay, next up, fix an issue where players could lose their mouse cursor in game and not in menus. I've seen that. I hate that happening.
If you're opening the inventory and then you're just moving your camera in the background, that's what this is.
And the
So that
last
should be
one
fixed.
on this is fix instances where bots could get stuck on towers or terrain. This notably happened to Caldir and the Jade Rabbit. Yeah.
So we
Finally.
fixed a few instances where that's happening. I believe we've caught all of them, but in case we haven't, I'm sure we'll be told about.
Okay. On to items then. That's miscellaneous done. Now it's time for everyone's favorite sections, items and god balance. Items, first of all. Bancroft's Talon, as you can see on the screen, Bancroft's Talon is going to go up from 15% lifesteal to 20% lifesteal. But not only that, increase the passive lifesteal from 15% to 20% as well.
Yeah, so we did a whole bunch of lifesteal changes in like season 4, and a lot of the tree, like the Bancroft or Pythagrams, ended up being really, really good for a lot of players. But the kind of Book of the Dead side and the Bancroft side ended up being a little bit lackluster. So we're just making it a little bit more kind of in line with the risk-reward play of it.
Okay.
You have to get low to get the power, and then you get the lifesteal help bring you back up. It just wasn't giving you enough of any of those things to really kind of be like, I can play around the style, and so now you should be able to.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Next up is Book of the Dead as well, staying in the lifesteal tree. Life Steal trio, so isn't Life Teal. Book of the Dead decreased the cost of this from 3,000 to 2,800, but not only that, the Life Steal effect from this has gone up from 15% to 20% as well. So same sort of story there, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same story. Book of the Dead is this item that allows you to play around with Life Steal really effectively. It's a way for Life Steal mages to get a whole bunch of bonus health in a different way than they're normally available to them. But again, other Life Steal items weren't powerful enough, like Bancroft, so you couldn't pair it with Bancroft really well because it didn't give enough Life Steal. It was also really expensive, and so we're just toning it down so that it's a little bit more attractive.
Okay, Book of the Dead. Next up, Fatalis. Yes, Fatalis is going to get a small change this patch. Decrease the attack speed from 20% to 15%.
Yeah, so this is the tier 2 of Fatalis. Just kind of overall, we're going to see another change to Hasten Fatalis a little bit later in the patch, but this is just to make the tree a little bit weaker. So when you're building into it, you're not getting as immediate benefit as you would be normally getting.
So some of these things are in alphabetical order, as you can tell, because it says Fatalis, and then we've got another item which we'll go to next, and then we'll go on to Hasten Fatalis. So Fatalis, the tier 2 effect, will be 5% less attack speed on that. And then after that, it's Flickering Ritual.
Yes, Flickering
Ritual is going to get its first look this patch, being changed, and the cost is going to be changed this patch from 750 to 1,000 gold.
So rituals overall in Season 4 have been like this way to have games end a little bit quicker. If you're in the late game, you have something to spend gold on. And we've seen a lot of people use them impactfully in a little bit trolly ways. And so that's why we've been making balance adjustments to them. I believe Rallying got changed, Frenzy got changed, and now this one's getting changed. With those, we could address things like duration or power, or you can only teleport to one person. But with Flickering, it's like, well, it's instant combat blink. It's kind of just what it does.
Yeah.
And so without making it feel really bad, we had to look at other ways to kind of change it. And cost was the easiest one that we could do. It seemed the most obvious. And so we're going to have that go out. We're going to see how people play with that. And then if there's still issues, we have a few other solutions that we might be able to try. But we're going to see if this fixes the problem.
So you actually don't look back at it if it doesn't work out very well.
Yes.
Okay, just for you guys at home to recognize that too. Hasten Fatalis, next on the list. It was mentioned a little bit earlier on. But Hasten Fatalis itself is going to have the same attack speed, but the cost of this item is actually going to go up. It was 2,150 gold. It's now going to go up to 2,300 gold instead. We've been seeing a lot of Fatalis lately.
Yeah, the added all pen to it is actually really good for a lot of characters, and so it became, in Season 3, it was kind of this, if you picked it up, it was more kind of trolly, but now in Season 4, it's like this legit build path that people can go. And so we're just bringing up the cost a little bit to reflect this new power, because 10 all pen is quite good.
Okay, so an additional 150 gold on the top of Hasten Fatalis this patch. Next on the list is Heartseeker. This is also getting a change.
Yes.
And it's just a gold change as well, which is going to be 2,100 gold to 2,400 gold now. Why are we doing this?
So I think the story with this item is it's comparable to other assassin kind of these items that give you a whole bunch of things. Jotun's Wrath gives you a whole bunch of power, cooldown reduction, and pen. This one gives you power, movement, speed, pen, and then a scaling passive. And for 2,100, it didn't make sense that something like Jotun's was 2,400. And so we're just bringing these kind of items that give assassins a lot of their core stats all at once, a little bit like similar cost, so that one's clearly not better than the other. Heartseeker became very, very dominant very quickly, and so this is kind of our adjustment to that.
And the final item for this patch notes this week is Soulstone. This is an updated the description to state it provides mana when stacks arc and shoot.
Yeah, we did that last patch, and then we didn't update the description, so now it's updated. That's all it is.
Cool.
We did it.
Happy times.
Fixing descriptions. There's actually a really confusing description change later.
Can I ask a favor though? When we get these ones, because people are rage, right? And we deal with these people on a day-to-day basis. I love these people at home. Kappa. But I love these people at home. But the problem is that when we do these ones, they get all excited, and then it should go into miscellaneous of tooltip corrections. Can we get a miscellaneous section of tooltip corrections?
Well, it could be Soulstone misc.
So we don't bait them. We don't bait them into thinking.
There just needs to be a misc there.
Changed.
Just a misc there. We can do that.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. They just don't listen. On to gods, though. That's where we all can. You can see the hairline of a certain god on your screen right now, and his name is Apollo.
Yes.
A few people have been saying Apollo's been pretty strong just lately, so we've been looking to tone him down. What are the changes designed to do here, Pom?
So the big thing is his early clear is very strong. We removed the penalty that he had on So Beautiful, and now it actually clears very well. As well as he has really good boxing potential with his Mez. His Mez gives a whole bunch of protections. He can dash away, he can escape a fight. And so we're just toning down the clear a little bit, and we're also toning down that boxing potential a little bit. Mainly, we kind of wanted to watch how he performed because he was in a rough state for a while, and then he recently became powerful. But the meta was also shifting really heavily. Season 4, a lot of people launched with him at the top of every tier list, and a lot of people have then since been like, he's really good, but he's not like that good. He's not like amazingly breaking everything.
Gotcha.
And so now that we've seen where he's kind of settled into things, these are the nerfs we want to go with.
So as you can see, So Beautiful has gone from 80 to 300, will now be 70 to 2 90, which is about 10 each rank, pretty much. And then on top of that, Serenade, the physical protections have gone from 10 to 50, is now going to be 10 to 30. So you're not going to be getting 50 protections from just pressing 2.
It'll be a little bit of a nerf to his early wave clear, and then his late game boxing potential is also getting a little bit hit there.
Next on the list. And as we said, it's not in alphabetical order, but it might be. Kuzenbo is next on the list. Kuzenbo, we buffed him last time. He needs more, right?
Well, the Kuzenbo buffs last time were also meant to kind of address some core gameplay things of how he should feel. His ultimate needed to be punchier, where it was more of like you cast it and the damage didn't feel good, but it was good disruption. And so we did a few adjustments there to make him feel better. And then now this one's targeted towards making sure he has enough damage, enough utility, and like especially late game fights.
I'm talking about the damage. Nene Cap is the first one on that list there. As you can see, the base damage this auto attacks are going to do off this are going to go from 25 to 65 as you rank it. It's now going to be 35 to 75, so it's an additional 10 at a rank there as well. So a little bit more poke from the Nene Cap.
Yeah, if you get hit by it and he gets a few auto attacks on you, especially like if he maxes that early, 75 per hit's nothing to scoff at.
No, yeah, it'll start to add up. And on top of that, shell spikes as well. We've increased the cooldown reduction on the Nene Kappa per hit. It used to be 0.2 to 0.6. It's now going to be 0.5 to 1.3 seconds. So that's going to be up a lot more often now.
Yeah, so the kind of idea here is Nene Kappa is this really good ability for Kuzenbo to use when his ultimate is down, when his push is down. The shell spikes reduces that cooldown significantly, but it wasn't reducing enough that Nene Kappa came up really often in a fight. And so now if you position yourself well, like maybe you get ticked, like you're in a whirlpool and you're getting tick damage and some auto attacks, you could throw out 2, 3 really quickly.
That's true, that's true.
And that also means that those are body blockers for hunters. Like if you throw it at the hunter has to clear it, and then you throw another one at him, and he has to clear it, and then you throw another one at him, and he has to clear it. So that's just additional tools that he has in the late game.
Okay, we'll say that's enough for him. As well as there's fixing an issue where this ability on shell spikes as well. Fixing an issue where this ability could not be used while in a knock-up. So it has been fixed so you can do it while knocked up, which is kind of cool. That's OP. Naja is the next one on the list.
This is a tooltip update.
It is, isn't it, Pom-Pom?
It is, well, description update.
Why don't we do these in a separate section like I'm suggesting?
Well, I think this one actually it's a little bit interesting because the damage was never fully clear. There's an extra hit that the tooltip never really accounted for. And so now we're just making that extra hit really apparent. It's you hit, and then you go up in the air, and then you hit, and then there's another hit as you're pulling them down, and then the landing hit.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of hits.
Lots of hits, and now they're all accounted for.
All accurately depicted in the tooltip. All you Naja players were looking for a buff, tough. All you Naja haters out there, tough. You're not getting
Naja's doing pretty good.
Just a tooltip. Just a
ring bounce is really good in the jungle.
Next up, we've got a few gods in a row here. Now, before we go through these gods, you might as well just tell me exactly what this is about, because this is an update to the way things are.
Yeah, so this actually came up in a thread really recently.
It did.
So we have anti-heal rules, and the anti-heal rules are a little bit... they're additive. So if I have 100% healing, which is my base, and then I get reduced by 50, and then I have Rod of Asclepius, which increases by 30, that's actually 100 minus 50 plus 30. It's not some weird multiplication thing. But we had a few ultimate level abilities that had the description text of prevents all healing.
Yes.
And the way that was listed in the tooltip was 100% healing reduction.
Right.
What it actually does is it reduces all healing.
To 0.
It basically is way above 100% to make sure that no healing happens.
Okay.
And so we've changed the tooltip, and some of them weren't functioning that way too. Like, Odin was actually reducing all the healing.
Yes.
Serket and Osiris weren't, but they were all listed the same way. And so now all those characters with their ultimates that have anti-heal will actually stop all healing.
All healing. Even regen?
Even if you have a whole bunch of bonus healing.
Okay.
And the tooltip has been updated to say all healing, all healing, all healing.
So
it's been made clear, hopefully.
Odin, Osiris, Serket are all, this ability now prevents all healing, or updated the description to make it clear this ability prevents all healing.
So Odin was already doing this. Serket and Osiris have been updated to match.
Right, okay. So everybody now knows at home, these are all 100% healing reductions when they use this ability.
Yes, but not 100% reduction. All healing. 100% and all healing reduction are different.
I got you. I did it on purpose.
Oh my gosh.
I did it on purpose just to annoy you. I couldn't help it. I was like, so it's 100% reduction, yeah? And you're like, yes.
This is like one of those rules that, like, when you explain it to someone, they're like, oh, I guess that makes sense. But like, if you don't explain it, like, it sounds really silly when you say
so
all healing reduction and 100% are different.
Are they stealth buffs, or have they been doing this already?
Odin has always been doing this, and then Serket and Osiris are getting buffed in the sense that...
So they are buffs.
Yeah, these are buffs. They are actually going to reduce all healing. So before Rod of Asclepius would actually bypass this, now they don't.
Okay, there you go. Buffs. Ra, next on the list. Solar Blessing. Fix the description not stating this provided protections.
Yes.
Could have gone in another document as well, right?
Yeah, but we want to make sure people know the description is updated.
Sylvanas next on the list, and Sylvanas is going to get a bit of a change this patch as well. Verdant Growth, his one, if you just play from that ability. First ability, increased cooldown from 12 seconds. It's now going to scale. So it's going to start at 16 seconds and go all the way down to 12 seconds as you rank it.
Yeah, we added the penetration when you actually hit someone with it, and he's already this very, very good early game character. And so we wanted to find a way to limit that early game strength. One of them is Verdant Growth, if you only have rank 1 in it, to use it for like rooting someone so you could pull them into the minion wave or to damage them. You now have to actually invest points into it so that you get that effect, which then indirectly nerfs his level 1 to 9 if you were maxing that early.
Okay, so there's a little Verdant Growth with Sylvanas, see if that's enough for him. Next up on the list is Xbalanque. Yes, Xbalanque is getting changes this patch. What's the aim with these changes before we go into them, Pom?
So the big thing is there's late game hunters are kind of the talking point here. They're kind of razor's edge balance. If they become a little bit too good, they all of a sudden snowball into late game and do really well. And we've seen this with Artemis, we've seen this with Xbalanque, we've seen this with all the late game hunters. They get very small adjustments and they have huge sweeping impacts. So Xbalanque, when we approached him, he was underperforming, so we wanted to find small changes we could do that would help him out, but didn't push him over that edge.
Okay, so the first change we're going to see is branching bowlers here. The mana cost is going to be reduced, and this is very similar to, I guess, what happened to Rama a while ago as well.
Yeah, Rom had this, and it actually caused him to do a lot better.
Well, his mana cost is going to go from 6 to 14. It used to be. It's now going to be 3 to 15.
Yes.
So reading that, it looks like a rank 4 is equal to what it is right now. But at the later stage, it's going to be an additional 1 mana. In the early game, it's a significant buff.
Yeah, it's essentially half per shot in the early game. So if you have a point in this, you can have that point on, and you can basically leave it on if you have Death Toll, and use that to help your clear and help you push in the early game.
And not only that, we're also going to be touching Rising Jaguar this patch as well, or Jaguar, whichever way you want to call it. Rising Jaguar increased physical power scaling from 20% to 30%, but not only that, increased the bonus damage on poison targets from 20% to 30% as well.
Yeah, so if you actually combo someone with the poisons, darts, and then the Rising Jaguar, it's going to hurt a little bit more, especially once, like, if you rush to the Transcendence once that's online. And then all that takes is that to give him a kill, and then he gets his passive, and his passive gives him more power. And so that's what we mean by these minor adjustments is this can cause him to get kills more often leads to him snowballing in the late game, and so we want to be careful not to give him too much there, but give him enough so that it helps him.
Next on the list, Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus.
Zeus is getting a bit of a touch this patch.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have seen his success recently, and we're doing a few things to kind of help alleviate some of the frustration playing against him, especially like at the level 1 and level 2 clear stages. Okay, so level 1 clear is going to affect that Aegis Assault, decrease the initial hit damage. It was 80 to 260. It's now going to be 60 to 240. So roughly 20 a rank by the looks of this once again. Yeah, so
what's the impact this is going to have on Zeus players?
So the big thing is you actually have to get another auto attack off to clear like back archers.
Right.
And another auto attack off as a mid mage where you have to be forward is pretty significant in terms of putting yourself at risk. And so this will slow him down a little bit, give other mid laners a chance to kind of fight against him in lane. Maybe they can walk in and take the first initial hit and then walk out and has the minion wage charge the other person. But it's mainly just to make it so Zeus has to be a little bit less safe, a little bit slower on his clear, so he's not so good at level 1, 2, 3.
And if you don't line it up correctly as well in the Aegis Assault, it can cause issues because you're not going to get all of them either. To add to that, so it'll slow him down a little bit more. That's the only change to Zeus this patch. And the final god that will get changes this patch is...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is. Zhong Kui.
Yeah, we
I'm
spoiled
sorry, I was
this.
confused.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, we spoiled this like, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I don't trust us on spoilers. Yeah, they come out when they come out to me. Zhong Kui is getting some love this patch. There's a lot of love coming through here as well by the looks of it. And Pon, you'll have to break it down. So I'm going to go through them. I'll probably read them all out and you can talk to me about them, okay?
That's probably the easiest way to do it.
First up is Expose Evil, which is his first ability, if you need to know that. Increase the remaining damage dealt from 40% to 75% when Expose Evil is removed by Exorcism or Book of Demons. Oh, that's a big jump. On top of that, Exorcism reduced the time it takes for demons created by Exorcism to reach Zhong Kui and heal him.
Yes.
So sped up there. Book of Demons, updated tooltip to make it clear that when Book of Demons removes Expose Evil, it deals 75% of Expose Evil's remaining damage. That's an addition.
That is actually was always happening, but the description didn't say it was happening.
Interesting. And on top of that, Recall Demons increase the travel speed of the demons released by the Recall Demons. Oh god, he's going to be so quick.
So the big thing here is I think it's can be kind of divided into two things.
Yeah.
One is when you consume the card, that was often a punishment to you because you wanted to consume it to get the heal or the increased stun, but often losing the long duration slow was already a punishment. Losing a lot of the damage remaining was also a punishment. And so we've made it a little bit easier for you to make that decision if you want the stun or if you want the heal. You have to sacrifice the slow, not as much on the damage.
Gotcha.
And that has really big implications for his laning phase because before you had to throw out the card, wait for it to tick down, and then use your oh geez, he has so many weirds. Exorcism? Yeah. He has to use his Exorcism to clear it. Now he can actually do that earlier, which means he's less time standing in the wave, actually taking a whole bunch of damage. So that helps his laning phase pretty significantly. And then the other one is kind of quality of life updates to make sure that like when you get your damage or your heal, it's more responsive. Sometimes when you got your heal, you'd see it coming towards you, and then like a chalk axe would hit you and you die, and you'd be like, well, I didn't get my heal. Now that'll happen less often, and your ultimate, it'll move a lot faster, so if people move out of your range, the ghost won't like chase for 3 seconds and then hit, giving a whole bunch of time for people to regen health and get a heal. Now it'll hit them much quicker, which helps us hit. It just helps them feel more responsive. Really.
It does seem like quite a significant buff though that we're giving to him here. Are we going to be keeping an eye on this in PTS just in case we did overtune it at all?
Yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on him. He's been struggling lately pretty significantly, which is why we have buffs like this. But we're gonna watch him closely, make sure this doesn't make him too frustrating or make him feel like he's too strong. We'll just keep an eye on it.
Awesome. And that is the end of the item and balance section, or god and balance section, I should say. Hopefully by next patch, Pom will arrange things so we don't get these updated tooltip things.
I'll just add Misk.
That'd be great. Please do. Just
go.
put him in the Misk section at the start so people don't
No,
get disappointed.
it'll still be the god thing. We'll say Misk.
Well, Pom's going to disappear right now because he's going to go and get himself ready for the new god that's coming out, so you guys can too.
Fun
I'm
stuff.
quickly going to head over to Amanda and Savvy one more time. And hi, girls. How you doing again?
Good. We're doing awesome. It's been so cool. I've been really excited about that Izanami skin coming out. So I did a little mini cosplay I posted on Twitter, but it's a really cool skin.
Well,
Very creepy.
I'm glad we've got you both here because if you don't recognize Amanda and Savvy, you are the community managers for Xbox and PC, correct? Of SMITE.
Yes.
Awesome. Savvy is Xbox and you're SMITE, Amanda?
Yeah, we kind of,
PC.
Yeah, Savannah's more, specialized in console, but we deal with everything.
Good. I'm glad I've got you here, Savvy, because I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, do you?
Where are the console patches?
All right, so if you're at all in tune with Smite, you might have noticed the little slight delay, but this is actually a good thing.
A little slight delay?
This is a good thing, Hindu Man, and I'm going to tell you why.
Be.
So we have this awesome new adventure mode, Nike's Valley of Victory. You probably tuned in last week. Things like this on console take longer to implement. We've got UI features that take time, and Microsoft and Sony have a cert process that we have to go through that we don't have to do with PC.
Okay.
Basically, the gist of what's going to be happening over the next few patches, most odd adventure patches will be a week to 2 weeks delayed, but you're going to get a back-to-back patch the following week to kind of catch up with just the content patches. So when 4.3 patches next week for console, you'll actually be getting 4.4 the very next week. So it's a good thing. We're prioritizing quality over expediency.
So to clear it up and just make it really clear for the console players out there, the even patches 4.4, 4.6, 4.8, all those will be a week after PC.
Correct.
As long as there's no issues with the certing of it like we sometimes experience. Yeah.
Because console will always be a moving target. Having a schedule is great, but in order to deliver the most clean, best patch possible, sometimes we have to push it a day or so.
Understand. And then the odd patches are going to be a little bit more delayed going forward just because of the nature of the beast.
Yes, the less hot fixes, the less bugs we can do, the better.
I'll be back at you if this changes, Savvy. You know that.
I'll be here.
Like, I'm on the community side on this one. You better be ready for it.
You know where to find me. I'm right here.
When my rage comes, you'll know.
24 hours.
We also tweet, Savvy tweets Hira Savvy as well as on Smite Game whenever we know that there's a console patch has gone to cert and we can actually tell you a date. So Twitter's your best friend for that.
That's true. We don't sit on these things. We want to be as transparent as possible and get the information out as soon as we know it.
I was going to say, you can't say anywhere you're standing. That would make no sense, right? Thank you so much for joining us today, ladies. Have a wonderful rest of your Women's Day.
Thank you.
Enjoy it to the best of your ability. And it's time to move on from the ladies. Now, don't worry, by the way, console players. I've got your back, okay? I've got your back. Time to move on to the latest god. And joining me on the set right now is once again Chuck. Joining me is Fishman and AJ as well, two of the designers who helped to come up with these fantastic gods that we get coming. And I need to get this name right again. Cernunnos. Cernunnos, right? Yeah,
you got it.
Nailed it. Doesn't make me want to say Cernunnos. I want to say Sir. I want to say because it's C-E-R.
Celtic.
I'm not Celtic, though.
Cernunnos.
It's just the way it's spelled.
Are you going to
They're all
say
about
Celtic now?
Celtic. Well, I mean, there is a Celtic
like
there.
the Boston.
Just saying. Just saying there's a Celtic
Celtics.
too. Cernunnos, the Horn.
Of all the people
And
who
how
messed up.
accurate is that?
Just like esports, modern day sports aren't helping us, right?
So before we even go to the card art and show you that one, I want to ask you first of all, AJ, about this god's lore. What exactly, who is Cernunnos and where does he exist from? Obviously he's Celtic, we just announced that one.
Right.
But tell me a little bit more about him.
So Cernunnos is the Celtic, the horned god. Really what he's known for is his antlers, his deer antlers. And he's been, described in a lot of different ways, a lot of different cultures, kind of a little bit differently. So we had a lot to pull off, a lot to kind of fill in the blanks when we were coming up with his kit and his lore. One thing we really gravitated towards was, one, his kind of nature of protecting the forest. Nature, lol. Of protecting the forest. He would kind of choose which crops would grow and which animals would be hunted. And generally, an alliance with him would bring you great wealth. You wanted to, harvest from the forest, but just like all nature, if you take too much, things all die off. So Cernunnos, he's there to help and there to provide, but he doesn't like greed. The other thing he really does is he kind of drives the changing of the seasons throughout the year. There was a lot of this in his lore and different levels of detail, but some even went to say that in wintertime is when Cernunnos actually makes a venture to the underworld, and that's why everything dies. And then he's there soothing the spirits and ensuring them that, the afterlife and death is just as important as life and things like that. And then he comes back in the spring and everything grows beautifully and we go back through the cycle. So really, he is really just a forest protector.
Now, on to that then, Chuck. Obviously, you guys have got to come up with the design for this, of the artwork for this, and you worked closely with AJ and Fishman to make this happen. What were the design iterations that we went through to get to this form we see here? What were the design goals that we were looking for here?
Well, the major thing was him being the horned god and him being a god of nature and hunting, right? We kind of ended up with this beast man, which was cool. We have some other beastmen in Smite, but they're also kind of the Egyptian-style beast people.
And we tried that with Cernunnos, actually.
But we kind of wanted to really kind of mix some of the satyr influence in there. The main interesting design item with Cernunnos was coming up with, because he's a god of hunting in the forest, so we wanted him to be a hunter. But what does the Celtic hunter use as a projectile, right? Because he has to have the projectile. So, and we wanted him to feel naturey and somewhat magical, so we kind of came up with this glaive, right?
The fantasy glaive.
Not
the traditional European glaive.
Yes,
that's true.
This is a Krull Origins glaive.
Yeah.
D&D glaive.
And then we kind of also had to reflect the seasons. So he needed to be able to reflect the seasons. He needed to be able to have a projectile that made sense for him, that felt like a magic nature guy would have it. And it also needs to be disposable because we didn't want it to return because we just did that on his Anami.
Right.
So we made this basically magic gauntlet that he can use to create these glaives, and then he just fire and forgets them.
Awesome. So it's
and also the glove and the
Zeus
glaive
lightning
itself.
bolts, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Right. Or a Scotty spear, right? And so also we had the glaive has magical stuff on it that's colorized to the seasons. And the way Cernunnos stands, right, is he's got his back to the camera, and then the glaive and the glove are pointed at you so that as you're switching through seasons, you have a clear indicator of what's
Telling all the
happening.
Kid spoilers. Kid spoilers.
All the
That's
spoilers.
cool.
Wait,
Stealing thunder. Chuck, way to steal it.
It's the only time the designers
fine.
like to come on the show because they're like, yeah, we're new god. And Chuck's like, listen, I'm going to talk you through all his kit right now.
I'm on your
break it
side,
down.
community. I'll tell you everything.
I'll tell you everything.
Hey,
Now,
what do
Link
you
doesn't
wanna
have
know?
to sit here
That's
and
fine.
wait.
We love it when the art and the kit are tied super closely
right.
together, and this is kind of what happened with Cernunnos, and this is the choices that helped inform his actual visual design. Also, I really like, we wanted to make his weapon almost kind of living. This was another thing I talked about with Chuck really early. We're having a lot of trouble brainstorming something like that, so you see here kind of like the vines and almost the growth of the glaive, and when he summons a new one, it feels like he's kind of, raising a new plant and then immediately throwing it at you for massive damage.
Now, AJ, I want to come to you with, obviously, we've discussed the goals a little bit, but what kind of role is this? What's the kind of playstyle we're looking for of him? It's a hunter, clearly. It was mentioned by good old Chuck.
Yes, of course.
But what are the kind of design goals we were looking for with this god?
So, new hunter.
We could go to game and show him now, I guess, because they know it's a hunter. So
Sure. Yeah, this god is going to be a hunter.
So there was no way to talk about the art without talking about the design.
That's that dependencies problem, the game dev 101 right there. Everything depends on each other. So he's a hunter, first and foremost. We wanted a hunter. We thought that really fit with him as a god of hunting. We really liked the weapon we came up with. And then we were playing around with the god of the forest, which we were like, oh, we have something kind of like that in Smite. We call it the jungle. So maybe we can make some mechanics on him that would help fit him as a jungler,
Okay.
even though he's a hunter. And we also, with a prevalency of some crit items earlier this year, we were kind of trying to pull him a little bit more towards attack speed and power or penetration build, hunter build, as opposed to crit. So you'll see as we go through his kit that he has some things that are pushing him more towards building that way. He has high base attack speed that's going to get him a large payoff for that attack speed. He doesn't have an attack speed stim that's going to cause him to overcap, which will help him. And he's got a cool ability that's going to help him in the jungle if you want to take him there.
Okay, well, talking about that ability in the jungle, I guess we should start off with the passive here. Fishman is called Heavy Glaive.
Sure.
I'm guessing it's heavy.
You know, it weighs a little bit. It's working on its fitness, but it does okay. And as Chuck was getting into this is of course the fantasy glaive. And one of the things we like about it is that while we tie in all this mystical and this living, we also have these solid blades that establish this is a physical hunter. He's doing physical damage with physical blades, and so that's really cool. But so we started out with some kind of forced in. It's like, all right, this is a bonus to you while you're in the jungle. And what that evolved into is, as you see here, he's firing once, but he's hitting 3 times. So what he's actually doing is he's firing a normal hunter projectile that behaves like you would expect a hunter projectile to, but at the same time he's also firing a melee range cleave attack to all enemies that are in that range.
That is correct.
And so what you got is the projectile is going to do crit. It's going to apply in-hand procs, but the melee is not. It's going to hit all enemies in range, and it's going to do basic attack damage, but it's not going to proc any items, and it's not going to do crits. It's just bonus damage.
So if somebody, the description of this reads as if they're in melee range, you're going to do bonus damage to them.
Right. To all enemies in that range.
Enemies. And there's a cone in front of you as well?
That's right.
It's not behind you or anything like
It's
that?
like your basic
whole
melee
circle
range cone.
Right.
It's if you'd be able to punch them as Ymir, he's also going to hit them while he throws his projectile.
And how much damage does that do compared to his in-hand projectile?
It's 25% of his basic attack damage.
Hold
so
up
it
one
scales
second,
like his
Chuck.
basic
Now listen,
attack.
listen here, Sunshine, okay? You start to spoil their bit of the show. Don't be trying to spoil mine by hosting now, okay? I'll walk off now if you're going to start that game.
We should just make the whole show
gonna
Chuck and
be
Tina.
How very...
the
Chuck and
entire
Tina
show.
Chuck and Tina show. We'd be done.
Chuck and Tina show.
Hold on, I got to do one more thing on the passive real fast.
Yeah, do it.
Which is, I got to say, hey, the UI guys, you made the glaive spin the wrong way.
See,
the passive meter, which actually doesn't affect his passive. It's ties him with his ability 1.
Right.
So I actually was just talking to the UIs guy about this yesterday, and they're saying, "Who throws like this? This is like the most awkward. Like, why don't you do the cross hand like everybody wants to across the chest?"
arguing between staff at high
Ultimate Frisbee players throw like that.
There was
Sure, but that's not your
discussion-
standard.
You mentioned
But
that the
it's effective.
passive is tied into, so the passive meter there is tied into his first ability. AJ, what is the first ability?
Right, let's bring it into
go
ability
right out of
1.
that fight.
Shifter of Seasons. So this is a very unique ability, and basically what it is a 4-state toggle ability.
He's gone green. He's gone yellow.
Yes.
He's gone
so
red. He's blue.
Along with
He's green.
He's all
He is
Yellow. He's
Captain
red. He's green.
Planet.
Yellow. He's red. He's blue. He's green. He's
He's
yellow.
Techno
He's red.
Cernunnos now. Neon Cernunnos.
You hold it down, you get a DJ Zeus-like effect.
Yeah,
there.
right.
Let the
So,
heavens
you know,
rain.
this was something that we saw with him in his lore, like that he was almost, his fur and him was living, you know, not just as he's an animal, but actually more deep than that. So we have the seasons that are actually changing the color of his fur and his weapons based on what stance you're in.
Does
so
it actually do anything other than look cool?
Oh, it does a lot of things.
Okay, I was
it
just
does a
like,
lot
did
of
you
things.
just change the color?
It does
agent? Like,
4
that'll
things
do this
specifically
patch.
for
Number
each
1
season.
ability, it's like black as chug. Just throw it out there.
It's
change
not
color.
like that.
Okay.
So as soon as you rank this ability up, it's going to be always on. You don't have to turn it on. It has no off state. As soon as you put 1 point in it, it's always on. Then it can be changed every time you press 1.
Right.
This happens very quickly. It is like the absolute 0 cooldown. And we've attempted low cooldown, but even when gods say they have no cooldown, there's a kind of a hidden internal half second
global
to
cooldown,
0.2 seconds. Global cooldown, yes, but here we even took that out. So he can be toggling as fast as you
I
can.
can just
no
hear
mana.
Jordan sighing now.
Right.
Oh, God,
So,
I've
yeah.
got to
Does
go
this cost
into the
any mana?
global
It
code.
also costs
You think he cares
no
about this
mana.
after Morrigan?
Yeah, right.
So it has no cooldown. It's the first ability in the game, as far as I know, with no cooldown
no
and
mana.
no mana.
Okay.
It is mostly a passive in a
worried
way.
now.
So then you can rotate through the 4 seasons. So the spring season, while he's in green, is going to be gaining him passive lifesteal. That's going to increase per rank of the ability.
Okay.
Ability version 2, the summer version, yellow. He's going to be dealing bonus damage on hit, and this procs a second indication of damage. It doesn't work like Bolas, which factors in, which is why Expel is so good with crit.
Right.
Cernunnos' ability, his passive, and his summer all are separate instances of damage.
Okay.
So if you're melee range, you're actually getting 3 damage numbers per swing.
Okay.
It also gives you that nice little yellow damage number that you can see for the bonus.
And all of his effects, his projectile, his hit effects, his passive hit effects, all change color depending on the season you're in. So we've got Lifesteal for spring, bonus damage for summer. Then we have autumn, which is a protection debuff, a physical protection debuff with a longer duration. So you really only need to hit a target with this once, and then you can keep switching it through. This is the pro level mechanic. This is the one that...
Protection reduction.
Yes. Yeah, protection shred, autumn. So this is the one that Cernunnos players are going to want to use once they get a little bit more experience with the god. And finally, we have winter, which is the probably expected movement speed slow. It's a very slight movement speed slow. And all of these increase their potency as you put points into the one.
Okay. And it's on one hit that applies the protection debuff, or is it like stack or anything like that?
It does not.
Single
no
the same
stack.
one over and over
It'll
again.
refresh, but yeah, with autumn you really just want to hit once and then cycle back through to winter or summer.
So every auto attack with the, for example, spring will give you lifesteal.
Yes.
And that'll be every auto attack. Every auto attack in summer, which is the yellow version, will give you bonus damage.
Right.
The third one, autumn, is going to give you protection shred, but it's just a flat protection shred.
Right.
Not a stacking one. It's just going to re-debuff you again.
Correct.
Just want to clear that one up because
It's cool.
that's the worry one there, right?
No, you're
And
right.
then the slow as well. Is that going to be a stacking slow? Or is it just a refreshable
Just
slow?
refresh, yes.
Okay.
And these are going to be only affecting his ranged normal basic attack. Not his passive, not his abilities, just his basic attack ranged shot.
Gotcha. Does this allow him to crit things with this as well? Obviously, I guess it does.
Oh yes, he can crit, but the
usual.
crit damage won't be affected by this except for the protection shred. Perhaps you get you some bigger crits and follow up. Yeah.
Okay, we can move on to the next ability then, Fishman. Why don't you talk me through this? It's called Bramble Blast. That sounds fantastic.
Real quick though, we were just
awesome.
ragging on the art team about not being in sync with the glaive.
Yeah.
Like what we were able to do with the color changing in the skin and the passive meter, it just turned out really well. And I think they should,
I
that
love
should
the
be
passive meter.
that should be applauded. Like all of that together, it feels
It's
very
highly
connected,
disjointed,
very
good call.
smooth. It just looks awesome. They did a great job on that.
Especially when you're, I like how the passive meter just keeps animating correctly, even when you're cycling really fast. And it just spins, and stops where you need it to. Yeah. It's
I was
so
just
fun.
trolling the
I know, Chuck.
Yeah.
They'll riot. If we but Bramble Blast.
Bramble Blast. Tell me that number 2. Come on.
So one of the challenges when you're designing a hunter is if you give him a damaging ability, either a poke or a lane clear tool, then by the time he reaches high level, you really don't want to spend any time not auto attacking because the damage on your auto attacks is so high.
Yeah.
So what we've got here is a lane clear tool, and it's going to stop on the first enemy it hits. So you're going to want to kind of place it tactically, either at the front of a wave as they're moving into it, so they all wind up in the radius, or kind of in between them if they're stationary.
Kind of like Soul style.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's going to do an initial impact of damage, and then whoever you hit with it will be rooted. And then after that, enemies in there will both take ticks of damage while they're in it and be slowed. And so what that does is that allows you to transition into your late game tool of, okay, early on, all I want to do is clear the wave. Now, I don't really care as much about the damage necessarily, but being able to root my target so I can throw some basic attacks at them and then slow people around them is going to give me that crowd control I need to really take advantage of the basic attack, which is what I want to be doing as a hunter anyway.
I just want to clear one thing up on that. And that Bramble Blast there, that root is only on one target, right? It's
That's
not
right.
hit
The one it
multiple targets
hits.
at all?
Yeah, if you
Even if it explodes?
if you shoot it in between them,
Right.
it's not going to hit anybody. But the projectile, whoever that hits, where the deployable is deployed, that's going to be the target that's rooted.
Okay. And it's a slow field and a dot damage
That's
as you
correct.
stay in that field over time as well.
Yep.
So it can be used for wave clear as well. Okay, that makes sense. And for zone control as well, I guess. Because it will slow them down and even root them in place. That's
It's a
Bramble
weak
Blast.
slow, but
A slow
noticeable.
slow. Okay. Next up then is ability number 3. I don't know what this ability is going to do, guys, because I can't tell by its name. It's called Horn Charge.
Right, so you
I have
know,
no clue.
we spent a lot of time talking about the passive and the 1 and the 2, and so this one's short. Horn Charge is just that.
He's got horns.
His horns get bigger, and he does damage and charges through all types of enemies. So he deals damage to minions, jungles, gods, all the same, and is not stopped by anything except walls or player-built walls.
So playable objects as well as normal walls he'll stop on, but he will charge in that direction. Can
There
it be
is
cancelled or
one
anything?
little cool thing about this, which is you can cancel it.
Oh, you can?
So you can go real point blank through somebody, or you can use it so you don't overshoot. So even a lot of problems with a lot of the piercing dashes is you overshoot targets a lot. So since this one's a little slower, it really feels like a ram charging with his horns, so the slowness feels good. The cancel also really helps that because being stuck in this animation for too long feels really weak, especially when you're trying to use it to clear the jungle. But right now you can have something right in front of you and pretty much just left click, right click, and just headbutt it and just get one quick hit of damage in, like an in-hand cancel.
Now, before we talk about the ultimate as well, I will say you just mentioned jungle there as well. He's a hunter, but with this passive, it does look like he could potentially jungle. Has this been like planned on the fact that we may look into other roles?
Definitely been planned, and we've been playtesting him as jungle, and we think that he is quite viable there. His cleaving basic attacks help him jungle. The way Bramble Blast hits and explodes and deploys makes sure that it will hit jungle camps for pretty much its entire effective damage, which is a lot harder to do actually on the lane.
Yeah.
And then he's got the quick canceling for the bonus ability damage on his horn charge. I think he's gonna be quite viable in the jungle, really do.
Awesome. Next up then, I guess, is the final ability of this god, which is the ultimate Fishman. It's called the Wild Hunt. I'm excited to see this one.
This is so cool. So this is something we've been talking about doing internally for a while.
Okay.
And so basically with the lore of the Wild Hunt is it's this kind of hunting of foxes or deer or boars, if you will.
Yeah.
And basically, anybody who's around it in the vicinity gets sucked up into it, either as hunters or prey, whether they want to be or not.
Right.
So we brought that into Smite with the Cernunnos ultimate, the Wild Hunt. So what he's going to do is he's going to drop this deployable. He's going to have a little wind-up time, so and then they're turned into boars. And while they are boars, which is for about 2 seconds, they cannot use abilities and they cannot basic attack.
But they can run away from you.
That's right. That's right.
So
these ones are bots, so they don't know.
So you control yourself, but you can't do anything but move.
Right.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So interestingly, we have a kind of supporty ultimate on this hunter kit, but it gives him a great setup potential. Now, the big windup, the big obvious windup, is going to make it so that you have to be careful about the timing of this, especially like if your enemies are distracted, that's a great time to use this. If you're just one-on-one-ing, then they might be like, what were you thinking? I'm just going to hop out of this, it's on her, not be affected. And then the thing is, those 2 seconds, they can start to feel kind of short when you are Cernunnos, but believe me, when you get hit by that, it feels like forever, and you can have some huge plays, both yourself and your team, off of that ultimate.
And not just that, it does damage as well, as you can see.
That's right.
It's not just a polymorph that's going to turn you into a different creature.
Turning into a pig is a painful process.
It's relatively low amount of base damage. He has generally a lower base and higher scaling to kind of go with a lot of his wanting to build pen and power.
Yeah.
And also, as we found with the ultimate, if you try to engage with it a little too early, generally you just waste it. Everyone can just turn around and run pretty easily, disengage. It's really, really strong as a counter engage. Most of the time I was using it is when I was getting dove by a Thor or a Bastet or something and drop it on them. Bastet can leap out then.
That's true.
I mean, she can leap out quickly enough, but if you hit them with that and they're stuck inside your team now they're a pig, things are going to go bad for them.
Does beads cancel this like beads always does still? Just to make sure?
Yes,
It's not, you can be cancelled by
beads. You can.
That's right. Okay. What about other relics? Can you use those while polymorphed?
No.
Just your silence.
Just beads.
I thought
You're
so.
silenced and disarmed. Just beads.
Why disarm, by the way? Because wouldn't it be fun to be hit by a boar that's running at you trying to gnaw at your legs? Why do we have disarm on there?
Because you're the prey in the hunt. The prey don't go and attack the hunters. Hunters got this heavy glaive.
I guess. But isn't TV shows more fun where the prey becomes the hunt?
Like the most dangerous game? Is that what you're kind of getting at here?
Are you saying you want to be an ability that that makes good things happen to
No, I just wondered why the disarm would happen. It wouldn't be a good thing. It'd just be like, get basic attack of 1 damage. You know, if someone's like 1 health and you're like, I can kill you.
That would be purely flavor and animation.
At least try and steal the gold fury or something, you know? That was all I was thinking.
Could have been fun. Could have been fun.
See, Hindu, this is why we can't have nice things with you around.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
When are you doing your design guest star as a designer?
Oh, God, if I did that, you'd be in a world of hurt, I promise you.
We got to get you back over there more often. You could have come up with that idea months ago and might have been able to do it.
You'd be worried. You'd be worried if I did that, that's for sure. I got Scotty's
There's
3.
the runny pig.
Hey, I'll take Scotty's 3. That's all I've got.
Yeah, you were there for the brainstorming with Scotty's permafrost.
All I did was that one. This guy looks fantastic, though. Like, his overall design looks really interesting for the most part. Do we expect any issues with his balance state overall, or is he one that seems to be in a good spot right now?
Honestly,
keep an eye on?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be watching it closely. Honestly, we've had a couple of the lower end releases in Gods for a while now.
That's true. Kuzenbo, who was before
Kuzenbo, Morrigan, Thoth, Kamazots, even Izanami, most people regarded as, Nike was probably the most notable strong one. Cernunnos is feeling a little stronger than them, and a little more user-friendly. A lot of those gods had some really complicated mechanics, but Cernunnos is one. Though that's one of my favorite things about it. It's very complicated ability. It takes a lot of getting used to, but you can kind of just sit in spring or summer, or winter, depending on the scenario, and be okay. You know, you can sit in spring and just farm lane and keep your sustain up, and then switch to summer or winter when you want to fight. And if you just do that minimally, you'll be all right. But when you truly learn to min-max it and rotate through, then that's when you go. Yeah, that's when you go pro level Cernunnos.
Well, especially stuff like with the fall thing, where you really want to get that hit in and then switch to another.
And that one's really tough.
But like you said, you can set it and forget it while you learn the rest of his kit, and then come back to mastering that after you got the rest of his stuff. And the ultimate in our playtests, like the same character with the same like being ahead or behind, can have like a complete whiff or a total team wipe, depending on how his timing is with that ultimate. So there's some good stuff there.
Excited. Well, let's have a listen. We've heard most of his voice lines of him just swinging around and using abilities, but let's listen to his voice pack that'll be available in the patch with him as well.
Woohoo! You're as solid as a rock. Majestic. I'm as sturdy as an oak. Today, you are the ones who will be hunted. Life and death are equal parts in our world. Today, there are no gods who can match my endurance and virility.
Virility?
Oh, yeah.
Which side of the wild boar has the most meat? The inside. I see you noticed my impressive antlers, but please, my eyes are down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also a fertility god, so there's some other jokes in there that might have some other specific references.
And there were some elements from his lore that we had to play down.
Yes, that's for sure. As a fertility god, there's specific things.
He's definitely there as a polite young man, that's for sure.
Yes.
Overall. And
we just invested it all in
I really like how the voice turned out. I love the little bit of subtle effects on it, but not too much. It's really great.
Some of the Hondas now and again, we do that with some of them where we've seen Anher for one. He's got a very similar voice in terms of like his presentation of himself. He's very polite and
Honor's more aggressive.
And then Chiron as well. I was thinking Chiron and Anher when I was listening to this. They were very, very sort of similistic in terms of like, you know, they may be aggressive, but they're very powerful.
Yeah.
In the voice packs. Thank you for Cernunnos. We'll be looking forward to it. Cernunnos. I'm trying.
You'll get there.
1 out of 4 is not bad.
After a couple SPL casts, you'll say it perfectly.
How many times you have to say Cernunnos in quick fashion is going to be a difficult thing.
You'll be all right.
But thanks again. At least we've got horn charge in case we get stuck. just to make that work out for us. And now, guys, we're going to do a Q&A in a second, but I do have something else to let you know about as well this patch. We're going to be having, well, it's not to do with the patch at all. It's to do with So You Think You Can Cast. Yeah, the show that we ran last year and a couple of years previously, if you remember that, So You Think You Can Cast, we're going to be bringing it back in a new fashion. And you guys, if you are interested, can get involved and apply to be on the show. The name of the show is The Caster. And it's going to be available for you boys and girls at home to go to thecaster.tv and apply to be on the show. There will be all of the information you need to know there on there as well. But I will let you know that North America, it'll be North American only for this, and you have to be 18 years or older. It's going to be a reality show, which means we're going to be filming it as well ahead of time. It's going to be a reality look, so make sure you go to thecaster.tv to sign up for that one as well. There is a lot of more information on that going forward. At the same time, though, reminder, you have to be in North America, and you also have to be 18 years old. The only reason you have to be 18 years old is because when I tell you that you suck and you're a little bitch, then your mum and dad can't be upset about it. It's the only reason it's there. I just don't want mummies and daddies coming in and telling me off and stuff like that. But on with the rest. I've got to say it because otherwise it's going to be. I'm not
it's part of the process.
Mum and dad of little Billy Joe who thinks he's a good caster comes on and I'm like, no, you shit. And then then his parents get upset. I can't have that happen. You know, we have to expect
it's a big
that.
part of our lives too of working here. If they can't deal with you doing it, how are they going to deal with Twitch doing it?
It's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, have you seen Twitch chat recently?
I know chat's like fined now. I just lost $500 worth of my wages. I think
I got torn apart. I mentioned
there goes your
balance for 1 second. I got torn apart.
Month, if you're lucky. I get paid with gems, me. They just keep me locked in a little hobo cage.
We do have lots of gems, though.
I mean, that's the benefit. At least you can get all the new content when it comes out. That's the main thing. Q&A section is now the way we round out the show. So let's see what amazing questions you've got given us this week. Let's have a look at what's available. Because I do not know these questions beforehand.
Oh, it's interesting.
None of us. Hold it. I don't know what the questions are.
Me and Pon review them.
Okay.
Oh, you reviewed them, huh?
Well, someone has to pick them. We can't just read all of them.
Why not?
We'd be here all day.
We should just
It would be-
RNG
Do
it.
you remember that 3-hour show we did for season 4? Yeah,
Don't
we're not
talk
doing
about
that
it.
again.
No,
Will
please, never.
Old Celestial Legion Helm come back after buff to crit items? We need it.
We do need it.
There's
We
a
do
couple
need
things
it.
here. There's a couple things
Yeah.
here.
So I think one is overall we've seen actually as people have learned hunters, there have been a few builds that have come out. Some of them rely on crit, but a lot of them are also doing shin size, attack speed variants. And so overall hunters feel like they're in a pretty good state right now. Crit is something that we addressed really early on with nerfs to Poison Star and Wind Demon, and we feel they're actually in a pretty good spot. There are counters to crit in terms of just physical protection. And so it feels like having just a specific item dedicated to only anti-crit, we had that before, and the problem was we had to overset it so heavily that it didn't even matter that it had anti-crit, it just mattered that it had a whole bunch of power and magical and physical defense on it.
That's the key thing that happened with Celestial Legion Helm last year. It had a very strong anti-crit passive for a long time. No one bought it.
True.
We buffed it.
Yeah.
No one bought it. We buffed it again. No one bought it. And by the time it was done, people weren't even buying it for the crit passive. They were just buying it because it had so much power and protection.
I
on
do
it in
want
the
to bring
first
up the
place.
subject because I know a lot of people will be saying, though, that we are towards a crit meta a little bit more just lately, or we've seen it go towards a crit meta more, which was kind of different than what it was in last year, right?
Well, I think last year we saw that there was almost no crit, which is probably a different problem on its own. It wasn't, people weren't really building crit, they were building the chin size attack speed builds. The fact that there's actual variety in hunters also means that other hunters are more viable, right?
Okay.
The ones that rely on crit, like Shibalanke, because he has a whole bunch of extra power, he was struggling because that kind of build wasn't really great,
Gotcha.
but the attack speed variants were, so.
It's really nice to see a good split right now.
Yeah.
So
Gotta
we've
be
got to be
variation
careful
on it.
introducing anything that would really kill one of those sides.
Next question, then. Let's go. Thank you for that one. How do you go about reworking gods? What is the goal for a rework?
Wasn't there like a whole thing on Paladins about not reading the name of the person?
I try not to because I am going to get it wrong. And second of all, if I do get it wrong, I may say something that I'm not supposed to because some of you guys out there do have strange little names like Sweaty Bollocks
that one's
and things
fine.
like that. Like I'm not going to say
Impersonage?
That's just risky.
Thank you, Impersonage. This is a really good question.
Just in case I
Well,
ignore
there's
it. But
and there's
impersonage-
multiple types of reworks, right? There's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there's the visual only reworks, which we try and do, maybe four a year, three or four a year, and then there's the kit reworks, and then sometimes it's a combination of both.
Right, and I look at it this way, that the visual reworks we try to do as often as possible.
Yep.
Those are generally accepted really well. They always turn out really well. They're really cool. They don't affect the gameplay in any negative way. So we try to do those a lot. Kit reworks, on the other hand, are more like emergency situations. Like the kit reworks are only usually done for extreme scenarios of, generally there's a couple reasons. One is that if the god's performance and perception are extremely split, so something that everyone thinks is really weak but is actually really strong, or vice versa, something like that. Or something that inherently has technical or visual issues in the god that we didn't foresee originally.
Okay.
That's kind of where the reworks have come before. I think our goal is going to be doing as minimum as them as possible. Generally, they're really tough for players. There's their favorite god. They don't like it being changed so heavily.
Yeah.
I mean, playing against it, a whole lot of new things to learn. So reworks are really complicated, really hard to find.
So there's
What
no-
a
there's no
good, solid
actual
candidate
goal
is.
for the rework. It just depends on what you're looking at doing. First of all, there's no overall goal. It just depends case by case.
I'd say the visual goal is always gods that look the worst in the game. We always want to be looking at that god.
Okay.
So Chris has been taking a lot of feedback as far as that. We have a good schedule of artwork updates coming this year, which we're really excited about, all of them. Some of which have already been spoiled or maybe data mined or something, but coming soon, really good ones. The kit reworks, on the other hand, have different goals, which are to address those extreme scenarios.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think the big thing there is a lot of cases where a character might have some potential issues. A lot of people really love that character.
Yeah.
And if you change it, you make a whole bunch of people really upset because they're like, this is what I thought the character was. This is what I really wanted. And a lot of people are really big fans of it. And then you risk changing that, and it might not necessarily be for the better.
Right, and a lot of the gods that some people would think or need reworks could probably be improved by some more balance changes first. So, we're going to try that a little more often.
Cool. Thank you, Impersonage, for that question. Next up is DW Rowe.
There we go.
When will the Morrigan be allowed in competitive play, including SPL and OPL?
Yeah, I think this one is, we've squashed most of the bugs at this point. Most of the gameplay bugs. There were a few things on Spectator that we still wanted to hit, and we want to make sure it was working on Spectator first, but I would imagine soon.
Yeah, so I like getting this question we got a little while back. You mentioned that we are always looking at the Morrigan. We're always making some improvements every patch all the time. And
She's in a good spot right
we have
now.
gotten really close to approving her for the Pro League multiple
From what I
times.
understand, most of her actual gameplay issues have been corrected and aside.
Right.
But there is 1 or 2 technicalities to do with the spectator that we are making sure are ironed out before we try and release it. Because we don't want to have it go on in the games and then you can't see for whatever varying reason because the Morrigan is in the game.
Right.
Yes.
Another good thing to bring up with this is that a lot of times players are citing bugs that we fixed a while ago.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played her in a while, give her another chance. A lot of those are gone. Most of the ones that I see people mentioning a lot do not exist anymore.
Yeah.
And the other thing to mention is that there is we have a system for releasing gods into ranked and then into pros. We generally try to follow that. The god goes into ranked when the next god comes out and has to be in ranked for at least 1 week before it can be played
Correct.
in SPL.
Yeah.
We really try to follow that, but if we need to override it for any reasons
That's why we
like
do it.
this, we can.
Yeah, and that's the
Although
main
it's
reason
rare.
right now with Morrigan is not because she's got bugs with her. It's to do with the spectator UI to make sure everything is correct there and there's not going to be any interaction that's going to destroy the competitive nature of the game for you guys as a viewer. The players themselves wouldn't experience the issue, but you as a viewer may do if we allow her in the game right now. Once those tweaks have been made and we're very comfortable with him, she'll be straight in the Pro League and you'll get told about that.
I expect us to see her in Pro League play soon.
It should be very soon. We've got a week off right now, so you got a week to get it done, boys.
I'm just really excited to see how
Any more
teams draft
issues?
around the Morrigan.
Me too, me too.
Yes, that's going to be really interesting.
Next up, thank you for that one, Ro. It's going to be Slippery... What? Slippery Pete?
This is a dangerous one.
Yeah, this one.
See? This is what I said. Don't do this.
Who picked this question?
Oh,
Pom-pom.
yeah, we were looking at it.
Okay.
I think this one is, a lot of people have been talking about the whole jungle camp change that we had in Season 4. A lot of that is where people are learning it. Early on, it was really snowbally, but people have slowly learned, like, you can take the small minions really early to kind of mitigate some of that damage. And we've seen actually things shake out pretty well.
Right.
So I think overall we're pretty happy with it, and I think we're looking at keeping it at least for a while.
One thing we try to do is not avoid the tough questions, ones that come up a lot. So this one is people were asking about a lot. We hadn't had really much time to talk about it. But all the results we've been seeing in Pro League, we feel really good about. The player feedback we've been getting now, that people are getting a little more used to it. We get a lot more flexibility in starts. We get a lot more improv that kind of happens as you play. You can't just necessarily follow this track. If things happen, you have to shift your priorities. We really like how that's adding some more complexity to the Conquest map, which is our premier competitive pro game mode. I think that plays in really well to the pros.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next question, have we got any more? I don't know how many we've got. To keep going.
I think we either have 1 or 2 more.
This might be the last one.
Anxiety X. Will we see more diamond rewards in the future, such as rewards for having all the gods of a class diamond or other accomplishments? I believe I saw Ready Fred similar to this one as well.
Yeah, this has been going around a lot, and this is a great thing. As we mentioned earlier on the show with Pon, he's going to be taking over some more systems involving this, and we have a lot of things we're discussing now. We're probably in
if it doesn't get done, it's Pon-Pon's fault.
I mean, we're that's the best way to welcome him
He's
to the
already
design
been blamed
team,
for
right?
things that
That's true.
happened before.
It's fine.
Came
Don't
out,
worry about it.
He's pretty used to that. But we're kind of in the brainstorming phase now. The diamond rewards and the mastery stars. We're kind of the first wave of that, and we're brainstorming now. We'd love to keep those posts coming. Let's see what the big, most popular ones. Break that up into different features. Let's see what's most popular on Reddit and Twitter.
Yeah.
But we're going to be looking into designing and creating more of those later this year, right?
I think some of those class ones are kind of difficult though, because what happens if a new god comes out and then you've mastered a class?
Well, there's other things like some people are talking about like different player progressions outside of just diamond rewards, and so we can see how diamond rewards does if people are really interested in it. Look at other systems that are there. It doesn't have to be necessarily just like diamond rewards.
Yeah.
A lot of the designs do have trouble once you start mixing in our model, which is constantly adding new gods to the Pantheon or the class roster. So a lot of those become more complicated that way, and that's why we have full-time designers to figure out those questions.
That's why we got Pon.
Yeah.
That's the rule now. Next up on the list. Next question, please.
I think that's it.
That was it.
No, we're done. Oh, we're done.
Yes.
We're done.
The patch is done.
It's a good patch.
It's been. It looks pretty solid right now. It doesn't seem too many people seem to be too upset in chat right now, which means you're doing a better job. Finally, AJ.
I mean, they were yelling at me a while ago.
All I
What
see
were
is
they yelling at you
Trump
for?
Amir.
What did you do?
They were yelling at me when I was talking about god releases and the power level of those gods.
It's because you mentioned Toth, AJ.
I guess I shouldn't have done
That
that.
name should not be mentioned. I've told you this. Don't mention Toth and all is good. You mentioned Toth and all is bad.
I'm sorry, Hidu.
Yeah, now that
It's
you
okay.
talked about it, just give it like 20 seconds and we'll just watch chat.
Yeah, it'll come back. Oh, I see a lot of people asking for the recolor for Cernunnos. Do we have that art prepared?
Maybe
we
in
can
the back
tweet
room,
that out
potentially.
soon if it's
If not, we will
prepared
retweet
by
afterwards.
production.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
there
it
it is.
is.
There it is. Yeah, he's got a kind of a
Production's on the game today, boys.
the
That's
white fur.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
And it's actually really cool because all the colors really contrast off
Well,
it.
before we close the show, then final thoughts, Pon on the patch this week.
I think overall it's pretty good. We hit a lot of really big things that were kind of talked about. I know the Reddit tier list actually came out, and that came out after I think everything was really locked. But at the bottom of theirs was Shipalanke and Zhong Kui, and we got buffs for them.
Okay,
So
cool.
it worked.
So
Right.
PTS will
That's what I was going to ask you.
probably be tonight, but it might slip till tomorrow. We'll see.
So
But-
you don't have a time for me still.
Actually, we
so
don't.
you
we
tried
don't
to
have-
make
we
it
don't
sound
have
like
any
you're
idea
you're
when
like,
PTS
should
will
be
be up.
tonight, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So
I
it might
mean,
be tomorrow.
The truth with PTS is whenever we're on the show right now, our QA team and
That's
programming
right,
team
yeah.
are working full time to make sure it's actually all working and everything is functioning properly. And as soon as we get the go ahead, then we put it up. But
Yeah, so we could say it's coming tonight, but that could be totally wrong.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys,
And there will be no Trump Amir skin.
no trouble.
Because that's the other question that keeps getting
That was your
sorry.
fault. That's why.
What?
You
My
tweeted,
fault?
you tweeted about it.
Why?
You tweeted about it. That's why.
It's on your Twitter.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a
That's
pleasure.
true.
As always, that's the end of 4.4 this week. Final reminder, one more time this weekend, if you want to play the Capture a Flag game mode, you can sign up for a special tournament that's going to be available this weekend, where you can earn gems with your friends by competing and trying to win in North America and Europe. This will be going on all weekend long. Make sure you find out more information about that. It will be available for you. And as well, the caster, I should say, is going to be available. If you remember So You Think You Can Cast, this is a new iteration that we're going to be doing this year. Thecaster.tv. If you are a caster that is interested in applying and trying to get yourself into a decent spot, this is a reality show designed for you guys. Head over there and make your application now so we can get your feedback in and start processing those applications. But with that, that is the end of the show from us all here at Hi-Res Studios. It's been a pleasure as always, and we'll see you once again in 2 weeks' time for the next patch notes.